and MCV to build out our youth engagement program, eventually becoming a youth ambassador. Yet throughout this process, one question that was repeatedly asked of me was, why youth? Right here today is why. Youth and Indigenous elders sitting side by side. The lessons, histories, cultures, and challenges passed down from elders become the tools, the knowledge, and the calling for the youth. We, as the next generation, not only have the obligation to take up this mantle, but we have the energy and the idealism to dare to do it with relish. Today, you'll experience this process of exchange, learning, and calling live with some leaders of my generation and two esteemed Indigenous elders whom I have the honor and privilege to introduce. I'd like to first introduce the Maasai Cultural Ambassador, Elder, and the only Maasai yogi, Jacob Pharm.D. As a member of MCV, Jacob has worked for over a decade to protect the rights of the Maasai people, their cultural practices, and their livelihoods in Amboseli, Kenya. He is also a founding member of the Maasai Education Center and has opened a Maasai culture-based elementary school in Amboseli itself, both of which are key nodes in a network of systems that enable the Maasai people to survive and thrive in our modern world while holding on to their rich cultural heritage. I myself have had the privilege to work with Jacob, to source and deliver over $30,000 worth of computers and computer-based technology to provide the necessary tools for the Maasai Education Center, bridging the past digital divide and allowing the Maasai to connect to the global community. Throughout this process, let me tell you this. Jacob is not only a highly compassionate leader and someone who cultivates unity wherever he goes, but a true friend who can always make me laugh. Thank you, Jacob, for coming all the way to Amboseli, Kenya to be here with us today, and if you would like to give a few words, I welcome you.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Jacob Paritlo.
He is a language instructor, working diligently to preserve the Kumeyaay language which his elders have taught him. He was appointed by California Governor Gavin Newsom to the California Native American Heritage Commission. He's a council member of the Santa Isabel Indian Reservation. He has served in the Navy and is an instructor at California State University. He has served our community and our country as a true public servant and is working with the Kumeyaay on both sides of the US-Mexico border to promote the rich cultural heritage of the Kumeyaay Nation. It is in this work that I first had the honor to meet Stan at the 2022 US-Mexico Mayors Community Summit, where it was my first foray into the advocacy role. And let me tell you that his words on the opening night were simply electric. I thank him from the bottom of my heart for coming all the way from San Diego to be here with us today. Thank you, Stan. However, what the piece lacked was any Maasai input. Not one member of the Maasai Nation was quoted in the article. Not one Maasai cultural practice was discussed there. And every single person, expert that was cited was from the West. I looked into it, I remember very clearly that of the 6 people that were cited in the article, 5 of them were researchers at NYU, right? So, and who had never been to Kenya, who had never actually been and spoken with the Maasai themselves. This is just one example of how Indigenous representation in the media